more.
By the way, we are in pre-show mode, so name's up. All right, it's streaming, it's starting. We're just gonna give it to a few more minutes, and then we'll be live.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for anyone but myself, so it's very easy in that regard.
Well,
My
no, but
algorithm gets all
here's the
fucky
thing.
wucky.
It was easy for me to let somebody else like experience the horrors. But now that it's just me, like, fuck that. I I don't want any of that. Like if the kid wants to like push somebody in a wheelchair off a cliff, like okay, fine, but like I don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the YouTube algorithm quite knows what to do with me. It's thrown recently. Some of the questions I've gotten from YouTube have been things like, "Are you a Democrat or Republican?" And I just sort of laugh and skip the question.
Oh, so you weren't okay, so you weren't there. Like I can't remember if I posted it to the Discord, but like somehow I got on a text message thing of like come take our political poll.
Oh, that's
Um
interesting. No, I was
no,
not on
and
this.
and
I did not see it.
and here's the thing, like I mean cuz I'm not just going to answer the phone for people. Although I did a couple times during this political season. We just had the mayoral primaries here. Um but like taking the ones on the internet where they would like text me and be like, "Oh, we're interested in your opinion." And I was like, "All right, fuck it."
Yeah,
Um
yeah, I took a couple of those. It's always worth
this
it.
was the first time that a poll asked me, "Do you consider yourself a socialist?"
Oh, that's weird.
Nice.
And I mean, and it was funny because it always came after um
And you told them, better a pig than a fascist.
there wasn't a type your own answer in. No, but like it was like really fucked up because even when I did the phone ones, it was like, do you consider yourself very liberal, somewhat liberal, neither liberal nor conservative, somewhat conservative, very conservative. And I'm like, none of the above. And they're like, let me repeat the choices again. Like you could not. But
In relation to
after
what?
right after that, they would give you the yes or no, do you consider yourself a socialist?
Is it like in relation to the people I spend time
There
with?
was
Because,
no in relation to. It was
yeah,
pick.
bastards.
Well, they're angling their shit. But like, you know
Oh, I
what?
know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know what they're doing, but like in a small way, I really like them having data that yes, I do consider myself a socialist. Fuck you. Like, let me fuck up your data. Because you know they're hoping everyone says no. Or they're hoping like, oh, 25% of people in your neighborhood think. You know what? Well, I want to be 75% of my neighborhood, buddy. You know what? Like, fuck you. Like,
Depending on the neighborhood they're lying, it's too low or too high.
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping that like some shitheel is like gathering the data and he's like, oh dear.
Oh yeah. Imagine if they had to do that ad for real. Did you know in your neighborhood less than 4% of people believe socialism is good? My stars! I live in a $40 million. I'd
Well,
better, I'd better donate to save the pettypublicans.org. Win red. Yes, indeed. Jeffrey Epstein's a good friend of mine.
where's MJP?
I don't know. He's doing something real people do, not this shit.
No, that's not allowed. That's not allowed.
We'll take him to HR next week.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it won't be you until after I'm done with him. You know the rules. I don't
I'll
make
just
them
tell him
then.
to go hard.
I don't know
Go
any
hard in the
rules.
HR paint.
Oh,
All I know,
you haven't been
all I
advised by HR.
know, all I know is that sometimes the best I can do is to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you've learned how to be on this show.
Well, no, like there were there were a couple weeks close together within the last 2 months where I was unexpectedly unconscious when I came home. Like I fully intended to be present and ready. But my body just couldn't fucking take it.
You're just playing ketamine
Yeah.
Russian roulette. Let's see if this puts me out before or after the show.
No. It was more like I came and I sat and I was like, "Oh God." Like
This is
nap
it. This
clock
is it.
nap clock is calling.
Time.
And but like it wasn't even intentional. It was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay up." And then the next thing I know, it's 6 o'clock the next day. And I was like, "Oh fuck."
AM or PM? Or
Well,
first
no,
one, then
like
the other.
I got home at like 6:30 p.m. and then the next thing I know it's like 6:30 a.m.
We've all had those months.
Mm-hmm.
Years.
Yeah.
Decades.
Decades. Sleeping 12 plus hours rocks. I don't care
Well,
what doctors say.
it does. It feels amazing, but it feels shitty when you have made a theoretical commitment to show up at 10:15
Eh,
or 15 minutes previous to do the sound check.
I always say I'm going to prepare for this show, and then I literally go to sleep at 5:01 p.m. and I wake up right when I get on Discord. Every
Well,
week.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's great for you. It's not my show. My duty is to show up, and if I don't show up, I feel shitty about it.
Comrade,
That's all I'm saying.
this is the people's show. As much
It's
your
true.
show as mine. How you handle it is your business. Shouldn't feel shitty.
All right. Well, I'm working on that then.
Good. And while you're working on that, I'll be working on this. Welcome to the Sons of Tree Air live streaming podcast. I'm your host, Dan Cohen. As always, joined by my co-host, Juniper Nest and Jake Engels.
Hey, what's up?
Tuesday plant update, bitches.
Yeah. That's
What
what
a
you should watch
segue.
Mindful Wellness on Wednesday so you can get those plan updates.
No, that's
You're
a
doing them here.
separate thing.
What day is
That's a
that now?
separate thing, Daniel.
What day is that now?
Tuesday. Tuesday is the Tuesday night plant update. That is my own separate thing. Mindful Wellness is Wednesdays at 10:35 ish Eastern time.
Depending on when they let True out of prison for the evening for his 2 hours outside.
Hence the ish.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I wanted to be talking more and filling air, but I'm just eating these blueberries and I'm just rocking the fuck out. They're really good blueberries.
I had an exciting thing. It wasn't documented on the Tuesday night plant update, but it did happen on Tuesday.
You know what? Give them the bonus content right now.
There is a mulberry near my work.
Ooh.
So I got to sing Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush while collecting mulberries, and they were fucking delicious, y'all.
What about now I've shaved Mulberry's bush? But then it's a guy and it's a gay dude. And see, I totally flipped the script.
Well, I don't know about all that, but what I do that there is a Tom of Finland documentary. Well, not documentary. Biopic. That's the word I want to use. There is a Tom of Finland biopic. Did you know that?
I don't know who Tom from Finland is, so nope.
I don't either.
I believe the trailer is on YouTube. I can. I have to click away from Jamiroquai. Oh wait,
Fucking
I'm
Jamiroquai.
sorry. I'm playing Don Gato.
Oh, if that's copyrighted, they're totally gonna be us. God damn it.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. It is what it is. I
Did
think we
that
can play
actually
2 seconds or less.
wait? Did that play through?
Hmm.
Ha ha! Yes.
Now you know how to ruin the show, and you don't like a point Dan has. Just play copyrighted music for 3 seconds. You know, like I'm a.
That wasn't. That's not copyrighted. We're not going to get struck for that. That is like first grade music textbook shit. We're fine on that.
Okay, I'm holding you to that.
No demonetization for you,
Okay.
Elegant Dan.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't get the elegant Dan thing, but I'm not. You know what? I don't think it's malicious, so I'm not addressing it.
No, I think it's meant to be positive, like perhaps fellatiatory.
I don't know about that far, but I think it is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to just be fun. I don't. Yeah, fuck it, man. Have your fun. That dude's cool. So fuck it.
Right on.
I'm
Like I
trying to
said,
harsh no mellows, except the bourgeoisie's mellow. With a guillotine, I gotta get it. Michael Jordan Peterson's not here. I gotta be the guillotine guy tonight.
Shing,
yeah,
shing,
like,
shing, shing.
what
I'm
is
so
up with
put
him? Like
upon.
hanging out with a girlfriend or some shit?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I know.
Human relationships?
The ball's
What?
on
Worst.
him. The ball's on him. No, I spend a lot of my time watching the news. Of course, listening to theory podcasts and reading, listening to audiobooks.
Yeah,
Like,
audiobooks have been a big boon.
yeah. This shit is like bad weed. It's all fucking stems now. This is bullshit.
I thought they were really good blueberries.
They were until I got to the
Were-
all stem portion of it. They just hide all the
Did,
stems at the bottom.
I knew
did
it.
we get Pharaoh's comments there on the mic?
I'm not seeing any comments.
No. Like on the mic.
No.
Hmm?
I told you they're good blueberries. You hear that burp? It's a good burp. I can project my burps like I'm a ventriloquist.
Sorry, the cat had a lot of opinions, but apparently it wasn't registering on the fucking mic. God
Well,
damn it.
I have the anti-cat filter on. I'm a cat guy, but I don't like them to have the ability to speak.
As all cat people are? Question mark? Say?
Correct. We like our roommates silent, thank you.
No, I'm just this is his place. I'm his servant. He allows me to exist here. As long as I keep that in mind, like everything's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll survive them. That's owning a cat is about surviving the cat. It's not about actually like having a pet. That's the trick.
Hmm.
Well, I mean,
So you're telling me your cat is trying to kill you
Yeah, obviously it's
all
a cat.
along?
I just hate myself. That's why I'm a cat person. That's the secret. Self-hate. You gotta really like
Fascinating.
yourself to pick an animal that's like totally obedient to you and always wants to know what you're doing. You have to really hate yourself to pick an animal that's like, what the fuck, man? Where is my food at? God damn you! And then just knocks something over. And you're like, God, she's silly. No. That's it. That's the trick to pet ownership. A lot of people like themselves. Right? When people are like depression's at an all-time low, I don't see it. Y'all motherfuckers have dogs. Every one of those motherfuckers. Oh, I don't feel good about myself. Fuck you. You feel so fucking great about yourself. I am jealous of how good you feel about yourself. I own a cat.
With your dog.
yeah, and the fucking cat, like, if I'm not paying attention correctly, Like he'll just start smashing glassware. He gives zero fucks.
0 fucks are given by cats. And when you pay cats attention, they immediately have to show you their asshole to let you know that you must look at their asshole. That's it. They're just like, you have to look at it. They have to exert their dominance over you by making you look at their butthole. Cats are the shittiest roommates. I love them. Because I hate myself. Everything about that checks out. Cats being shitty
As
roommates.
long as you don't dig too deep, it all checks out.
No, it all checks out perfect. Nobody who likes themselves has a cat. I haven't found that person. And yet, they are my people. Full of people who just look at themselves and go, fuck me. I gotta wake up in this again? Okay, they're back to being really good now. They got the stems out. Just so you know.
Good.
I got them at Martin's, dude.
What's this thing with the stems that you keep referencing?
Blueberries.
What?
He's eating blueberries. He said he was eating blueberries.
I said I should be doing my job, but I'm
Oh,
too
that's
busy eating
right.
blueberries.
Yeah, I finished off my cherry berry mix earlier, and I'm bereft.
You gotta get on that shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
For
Right now, I'm
sure.
gonna fuck with the mushrooms, though.
All right, we filled the first 10 minutes. Now let's get down to brass fucking tacks. If you're here after 10 minutes, haha, we tricked you. Now's the theory bullshit. We're going to take down the Young Turks, TYT. Holding it down, holding us down. Their boots on our necks. Fuck 'em.
Yeah. I mean, they had a bad take for sure.
Actually, to be fair to them, they've had a couple bad takes, and they're not apologizing.
Well, like I said before, like that. What'd you say her name was? Anna or whatever.
Ms.
Like
Kenneth
I was never even aware of her before she decided to go full turf, and like now she's just inserting herself in the middle of everything.
Yeah, she did
Fuck
that
about
birthing
that.
person thing. Like she did the birthing person thing, and like let's work out some math here, right? You're talking about 5% of the population. Out of that 5%, you're talking about 50% of them are probably too online to be healthy. That's fair. I think that's true of any. You start spinning the demographic wheels, that number isn't going to change. 50% of them are too online to be healthy, right? So out of that 5%, so we're now at 2.5% of all the people in the country decide to use clinical language outside of the clinical setting. That's before we get to the political turns, right? Because the people who love to make society overly clinical, it's liberals. They love it. They fucking love it. People try to use their language and then try to make it good, actually, and I'm telling you, it is a fucking nightmare. It is a Sisyphean task. Don't stop doing it. That's your best move on the left. Stop doing that, right? But so there's this clinical term, a pregnant person, which is relatively banal because what that'll capture in most instances are the three groups of people who can get pregnant, right? It's going to capture women, it's going to capture trans men, and it's going to capture non-binaries. So you get three groups who can get pregnant. It's going to capture all three. And Anna's like, don't refer to me as a motherfucker. Nobody wants to refer or a pregnant person or a birthing person. Motherfucker, nobody wants to refer to you. I got news for you. You are grading except to the sycophants who pay for that shit. And you have been for a while. And I'm gonna first off, I'm gonna say the thing. Michael Brooks died and you turned shitty. All right, that's the reality of it. And I don't know if it's in your personal life. I'm guessing if you're willing to put it on the show, you already had to process it in your personal life. But that's just a fact. Michael kept your ass in check. I don't know how, because he was on a completely different show, but he did. Like that's the narrative you have presented through TYT over the years. I want you to know that, right? You'll never listen to this, but I want you to know that. And this is where, like the backlash of that would be like, oh, you invoked Michael Brooks. Yeah, I did. Man lived. So there. I watched a shit ton of Michael Brooks. Dude had to be great. I never met him. Dude had to be pretty cool. But I do know this. He died. Now you're an asshole. That's a through line. And you got,
I'm not.
What's that?
I'm not convinced that is a directory line, but sure, whatever.
Well, you had somebody who had not like a default liberal perspective in the world versus somebody who had a default liberal perspective in the world. And we're not getting this kind of rhetoric when Michael Brooks is around. Now he's gone. That mouth is flying. We're making sure that's solo, baby. That's pure Casparian. Then we get the comment that, the comment from, I believe it was last night's show. I'd like to get rid of the far left. And you motherfuckers spend so much time trying to get the left to win by making them what? Turn into fucking Democrats? Motherfucker, we don't win when we're fucking acting like Democrats. We don't win. We don't win when we're fighting them. We don't win when we're not winning. The far left isn't winning. I don't know what the fuck you're worried about, but I notice you're worried about the exact same thing Nancy Pelosi's worried about, except she lumps you in with us, bitch. So you got two options: team up or fucking hammer on us too. So fuck you on that front. Thanks. Yeah, no problem asking for money at the end of every 5 fucking seconds with that show, but I'll tell you what. Why would I spend my money there? I don't spend my money with Democrats either. They don't like me. Duh. At least the Republicans are decent enough to say it without being a little bitch about it. This rant goes, by the way. This rant fucking goes hard. Then we get to this fucking, there's a clip out there. What is it? Chaos at Uber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then we get to that clip. So we got the turf shit. We've got the, I'd like to purge the far left, or whatever. Then we get to that shit. Here's the through line on that video. Karen is derogatory and hurtful, and you shouldn't call your coworkers Karens. And I first posit you a fucking conundrum, right? Right? Okay. So you got a guy at work, and this guy spends all your break time talking about how fucking effective Adolf Hitler was. Okay? And you got a guy at work who's like, look, I'm not saying the Holocaust didn't happen, but I want you to look at this map right here. See that? That was a regular furnace. Not one of the gas chambers, not one of the people furnaces. That's all I'm saying. And then he says to you, I don't like Adolf Hitler, but he had some good ideas. At what point do you call the motherfucker a Nazi? At what point do you call him the fuck out for his bad behavior? And I'm asking you to honestly give me an answer. At what point? Where in the line? Is it when he shows you his grandpa's war memorabilia and you can't read it because it's in German? Where's the line? Where do you go? Listen, dude, you're fucking Nazi and I don't want to deal with you anymore. Or where do you just start socially isolating him? Or where do you go? You gotta watch out for that guy. That's a real ass fucking Nazi. You know what I mean? Where do you do?
I'm probably jumping on that bandwagon pretty fast.
Pretty fast. Is Nazi a derogatory term?
Ooh. I mean, sure, under the purest definition. I want it to be derogatory.
The desire. So
I say it in a manner that I want it to be derogatory.
So we can say it abstractly in a non-derogatory manner because it is a description of a political position, or we can say it in in a derogatory form where we're adding derision to it, right? It has both modes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have this term that describes a political position and a set of behaviors that I self-identify as a fascist or a Nazi. And they have modes that are derogatory and non-derogatory. If I call Matt Gaetz a pedophile Nazi, clearly I'm just being factual because he's both. But if I say what a fucking piece of shit pedophile Nazi, clearly I've added derision to the terms, which the other two are banal, right? Because he is a pedophile and he is a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
He fits both definitions. Okay, so terms don't necessarily have to be derision if they identify something that is true in the object. Now we take the term Karen. The term Karen applies to a subset of behaviors in which the individual believes they have the right to call the cops to enforce their will at any given time above the wishes of other individuals because their will is superior, who treat people poorly, and who, generally speaking, are predisposed to wealth or If not, well, some sort of caste-based superiority. You can be poor and still have a caste-based superiority if within your local caste you're at the top. Because nothing so far that I'm not saying that's really, if you watch Karen video, what's a Karen doing, right?
Yep.
So what
Sounds
is a
about right.
Karen? It is these three behaviors. It is most often present in a particular type of white woman. There are a subset of black women who fit the definition, subset of Asian women who fit the definition, subset of, but by and large, the predominant makeup of that term is white women. Rich white women. Rich white woman. Karen is a rich white woman, and a rich white woman behaves in this exact pattern. And where it's not, where A does not equal A, if you will, is not all rich white women behave like that. But the subset who do, who are identified, have a term for them. They are called Karens.
Well, I mean, because the point of calling someone a Karen is saying that they're displaying a certain pattern of behavior,
Yes.
correct?
In much the same way that you would use the clearly derogatory term asshole or the slightly less derogatory term jerk when somebody is engaging in social relations that are rude.
Right. So, I mean, I feel like the people who are upset by, well, let's go back to derogatory.
Okay.
It's saying that it's dismissive or saying something not nice,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? That's different from saying that it's like a slur, that it is meant to defame someone. That
Dehumanize. Yeah.
right.
Right.
So what I find problematic, to use a, you know, a term of the zeitgeist, is that here are these privileged white women who are upset by being Karenized or fearing being Karenized and saying like, "Oh, that's a mean thing to say. That's a derogatory thing to say." I don't know that it counts because it's not classing. No one is saying by Karening someone. No one is saying that everyone with your uh racial or ethnic characteristics is this person. Correct?
Right. Because Karen is a caste and a class designation amongst a certain population, as is the less often used but mirrored Ken. The bitchy customer, right? It's the idea of the bitchy customer.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
hey, I'm just gonna pull the C word out. We're talking about a cunt, right?
That would be the more derogatory term, yes.
Right. So if people are upset about being called a Karen, would you rather I use the other code word?
Well, consider the model of the Karen that like the most famous Karen is the killer of Emmett Till, right? That's the most famous Karen. That's what that behavior leads to.
Carolyn Bryant.
Yeah, Carolyn Bryant. So you could have called it a Carolyn, but that would if you call that specifically a Carolyn, you're associating even banal grievance, right, with the murder of Emmett Till, and you're either more often than not you're weakening the gravity of that situation. But what you would be implying is that this person is on the same level as the murderer of Emmett Till, the woman who called the cops, right? Carolyn. So if we call them Carolyns instead of Karens, we're associating every one of their annoying behaviors with that egregious act, which there are a few of
Wait,
them who
so you're
tried to get
saying
that
it's a
far.
spectrum?
It is a spectrum of behaviors. Yeah, Karens get applied to those Carolyns, we'll call them for right now, white women who like to use the police and male violence to their own ends for their own comfort and pleasure, and their own sense of enjoyment out of the ability to have minorities murdered. Or people they don't like murdered, frankly. They don't even have to be minorities now. You can just be poor and white and offend a rich white person. They'll just kill you. Um, and it also describes the bad customer. So it is an intermingling of the two, but it favors on the bad customer idea, where they're calling the police as if the police are the managers of society to make you do whatever they wanted you to do, instead of, or they just enact violence upon you because they feel entitled to, like they hit your car, they hit you, whatever, right? In lieu of calling them Carolyns, which automatically associates them with the killer of Emmett Till. Because those men, here's the thing, we always pin it on the men, and it's not actually the men who killed him, because it's just as likely those men never interacted with Emmett Till had Carolyn not decided that it was time to use male violence against Emmett. So the white woman is the murderer, and she uses the tool of those men to do it. So they're all guilty, but what they're guilty of is different. One initiated the murder and had the plan for the murder. The rest of them executed the plan. So one's the mastermind. The rest did the job for her. And that's of critical import, because it's saying the Karen is in part saying that you're the kind of person who would mastermind somebody's murder for your own pleasure. It's also saying in part you're the kind of person who doesn't, the overarching point of it is you're the kind of person who does not mind inflicting misery on others and being callous towards others for their own pleasure. Now, the reason I think Anna is offended by that term is because her behavior does check off the lighter boxes of the Karen behavior. And this is the public persona she's presenting. She'll go, well, that's not how I am in private or whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't know you in private. I don't want to, given the particular type of public persona you make yourself out to be. And we all have a public persona we want to make ourselves out to be, whether or not we're good at it or not. Obviously, I try to pretend like I'm actually good at philosophy. But at the end of the day, yeah, the laugh gets it. See, it's always the laugh. That's the hook. At the end of the day, right, how you're portraying yourself, you're having to go on a show where you make your income. This is how you're portraying yourself at work, and your job is decidedly public. It's an attention-seeking position. It is a position with celebrity, which you bemoan repeatedly, how much celebrity you have. This is what you choose to portend. You are taking on aspects of the Karen and then complaining about the Karen, right? The other way to put it is you haven't worked with the Karen because you're the Karen in the room. So you don't understand. You're only looking outside of your own eyes. You're not looking at how your behavior affects others. You're not really acting like a good Marxist there, which I don't think you would want to be. Even if you might have professed it previously or have professed it, you don't understand what that term means. Because you think it's okay to be shitty to people. You're offended that somebody points out that you're acting shitty and that this group of people are acting shitty. And honestly, there's a through narrative, right? The appeal towards the TERFs, the appeal towards the Karens, and the abortion commentary. There is this idea that decidedly liberal white women are being put upon. Their rights are being taken away, and they're being called these derogatory terms. She is intentionally trying to make that decidedly mirror the black experience. And it is a separate experience. In a lot of instances, there are plenty, umpteen number of examples where it is not good, and there is a lot of work to be done there, but you are trying to make it mirror that. You are trying to steal that, and I'm sorry, TERFs have rights legally speaking, but I don't have to pay attention to what a TERF says. I'm not required to. I'm not required to endure somebody who thinks they can co-opt the black struggle for their own ends. I'm not required to endure that. I'm not required somebody who thinks that Karen is such a fucking derogatory term towards them because they engage in these other two behaviors that are actually legitimately damaging. The reason you want to alienate the far left, that's a nail in the coffin, because we see your bullshit. We're catching you on your bullshit, and it's kind of gross, frankly. You don't have to be a perfect fucking Marxist. You don't have to be a third world Maoist. You don't have to fucking stand Tito or Stalin or whatever. But a decent socialist is not going to look at the turf and be like, yeah, we should be protecting that. From what? Why would we look at the white supremacist with pity? Why would we look at the anti-fucking Latino, the fucking black guy with pity? You know, if he's out there spewing that shit, why would we look at a fucking Latino immigrant who's saying the N-word all the time? Why would we look at them with pity? We don't. That's a behavior that needs to go. Either the behavior goes, or I'm sorry, you get ostracized. All of those things are similar. We're not empathetic on the basis of your individual suffering ought to be a point where you go, see, I understand why it's shitty because I've suffered this, so this is what needs to happen in society. It should not be a point of personal grievance. The idea of it being a point of personal grievance is just liberalism. It's just a Democrat. It's just a rank and file Democrat. This is a personal grievance for me that I can exploit for my own advantage. In this case, it's filling airtime, which in turn is revenue. Yeah, I'm being real critical. It's the reason I don't talk about a terrible amount of my personal grievances on the show. It's not about my freaking personal grievance. It's not about that. So right now, we have a problem on the left. We really do. The fact is our main media network is essentially at fucking, like they'll be like, well, MSNBC wouldn't do all that. Fuck all. It means fuck all because what you're advocating for is positions that are just slightly to the left of MSNBC at the end of the day. And they go, oh, healthcare is socialism. You don't know what that word means. I'm sorry. You think you do, and you think you have the right to define it for everybody else. That's not what socialism means to a fuck ton of people, millions of people across the world. There's a whole billion fucking people where socialism doesn't mean anything what you say it means. Healthcare is but a goodie within the fucking thing that is socialism for them. Because there are plenty of conservative governments that run universal healthcare. Look at Justin fucking Trudeau. Look at the fucking Shinzo Abe asshole that you people think is so fucking progressive. Those are hardcore conservative governments that run socialized healthcare because it's socialized. It's not socialism, dumbass. It's the difference between a public and a private good. It's basic capitalism. This is fucking Econ 101. The shared space versus the private space. This isn't fucking hard. I think what chat, you know what? I'm going to give you my personal grievance right now. I don't have a formal college degree, and it fucking fucks me off that we are always talked down to by people with formal college degrees who misuse these terms fucking willy-nilly and then try to shove down your throat their definition. Always on your ass about their fucking version of it when their fucking version of it is so fucking far away from the real ass thing, you can't fucking see it on the horizon.
Okay.
What happened, JP?
There he is.
Yeah. What I missed? Everything?
A lot. I'm ranting now. We're in Dan rants mode before I open up the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can
Rant on.
you can get a 10-minute nap at least. I can keep going on this. So what she insists upon doing with this fucking chaos video, she insists on simultaneously attacking the concept of the Karen and then attacking the diversity, inclusion, and I forget the DEI fucking meetings, the DE&I meetings. As somebody who has to sit through those meetings, I can tell you they are an opportunity to cause all sorts of anti-X bigotry from white people at work. That's what those are for. Those are so the liberals can go in and stir up that bigotry and then point to those white people and say, see how bad they are? This is why you need us. They are doing what capitalists have always done. They are creating a market for themselves. Those are some of the most useless things ever because prior to us having them at work, we didn't have that kind of open hostility in the workplace that the union had to then fight against. But management brings some asshole in who talks like that, gives white people all the permission they want to say everything negative they want to about the gays, about the trans, about the blacks, including that wonderful word that they just love to use in private. Now you've given them paid time to say the N-word. and you're fucking pissed off about the word Karen, the fucking ball's on you. Every one of those goddamn meetings is just a chance for white people to list their favorite fucking slurs at their minority coworkers, then have everybody who's sympathetic to those minority coworkers feel bad for them all day. It is a way for liberals to alienate them without ever having to take responsibility for it. They do the same goddamn fucking thing as the Republican Party does. They whip up racial animosity, they whip up gender animosity, sex animosity, identity animosity, religious animosity, and then they go, look at how fucking nasty white people are. Motherfucker, those people were shut the fuck up and had to hide before you showed up. They were under goddamn control, and then you blew the door wide open for them. Where the fuck is your accountability? Every one of those motherfuckers needs goddamn jailed. Gulags for the lot of them. Daily beatings to fix their attitude. Should you encourage white people to say the N-word? Well, just so they can point out their fucking BAM right then. You said it wrong. Try it a fucking again. It's 2 fucking letters. You figure it out. And this goddamn asshole goes out there and has the balls to say somehow we're worse. And then fucking co-ops this shit. Fuck you. Tired of this fucking bullshit from them. Try so goddamn hard. You try so goddamn hard to give people a chance in your parasocial relationships. You don't have to fucking have these meetings at TYT, because remember, you don't need a fucking union. Kudos to you, cock blocking the unions and then going, everybody else should get a union, but we don't need it. Fuck you. Every place needs a union. Your union should be trying to take over the goddamn shop. I've said that before too, and I'm right. You know I'm right. And it ain't far left. The worker co-op is something that existed under Franco Spain. It ain't that far fucking left. You still use the market. Now getting rid of the markets, haha, now you're talking. And fuck you for not being able to dream big. That we can't move beyond market fucking scarcity. Most powerful species this planet has ever seen, and we can't move beyond a little bit of fucking pain in the ass scarcity. For what? What can't we move on it for? For fucking magic cards? Fucking cars? We don't need cars. We'd fix the scarcity problem. We got rid of the fucking cars. Fuel? Your fuel needs go down. If not, every motherfucker on the planet, 7 billion motherfuckers need a car. All that shit. Little bit of good old-fashioned socialist rethinking of the world. True fucking socialist rethinking. How do we solve all these needs at once without fucking breaking the bank? But no, we're supposed to fucking worry about, oh, Karen is hurtful. To who? To the fucking Uber driver who goes, well, I don't pick up the blacks. Well, fuck her. Karen's the nicest thing I could call that. That's an ignorant fucking racist. I'm not supposed to call it the not racist at work anymore? Oh, I'm sorry. My fucking apologies. I'm so sorry I impeded her fucking personal views. Fuck you. Fuck all her Ken friends too. Fuck her shitty Ken husband. Fuck her little shitty alt-right kids because she doesn't raise them properly. Because she's too busy out fucking going out in Uber trying to make sure that her clients aren't in a fucking wrong skin color. Or the wrong fucking religion. Fuck them.
My take on it is pretty similar. I do think it is derogatory, but also I think Nazi is a derogatory term. I want it to be derogatory. I said it in a way that is derogatory. I said it with my chest to your face.
You want to be called Carolyn Browns? Huh? Carolyn Brandt? Yeah. What do you want to be called? You want to be called a fucking murderer?
It's intentional.
Well, that's what I was.
In theory, you change your actions. I tell you, you're being a fucking dick.
Yeah. Nope. Double down. Why don't you go on some anti-fucking birther shit now? Because that's what a left project should. You know what a left project should be? Fucking pleasing. The far left should just worry about making sure Anna Kasparian is fucking happy when she goes to an upscale boutique. That is what we should be doing. That is what we should make sure that Cenk Uygur is perfectly happy when he goes to an upscale boutique. I ain't rich. Fuck you, dude.
I feel like Anna got called a Karen one too many times. It kind of broke her brain.
It did.
She was being...
But that goes back to what I was saying. Would you rather me call you a cunt?
Yeah.
Like
we could have called her like everything.
Right.
There's
so
a whole dictionary of words.
Pick
Yeah, which to
pick
call
your
her.
fucking battles. If you're acting a certain kind of way,
'Cause
how are you going to be mad at me for calling it out?
Because she gets on camera and does drama.
Yeah, and in that regard, she fucking wins. Because I'm making a fucking whole hour fucking takedown of this bullshit. Tired of this goddamn shit. Fine. You know what? We're gonna make sure we hit intersectionality perfectly. Or at least as much as we can right now. You ready for this? You're being a fucking colon. Because every living human being has a functioning colon. May not function fully. It may be in a state of dying or killing you. You have a colon. And that is connected directly to that fucking thing that you actually are, which is an asshole. So fine. Karen is out. Sons of Trier decree. Karen is not socialism. Colon is.
Can we say can we call her a fascist? What is it? Sympathizer maybe? Maybe enabler?
Definitely an
Um,
enabler.
Like what is the correct term for her relationship there? Ally? Fascist ally?
It's enabler. It's an enabler because you're worried
Enabler.
about
Yeah,
beating down the far left. We are the ones who historically have beaten fascism. The far left in America at the time was the Social Democrats led by FDR. And who fucking won that side of the war? Not the goddamn Republicans. It was goddamn Democrats and the fucking boots on the ground. Who won it in the fucking Asian theater, huh? Who was winning it there? A couple of people called the Russians and the Chinese. Pretty fucking far left societies, as I recall. The Chinese were split.
Did you go over that moment when she was like telling the black person, like trying to tell the black person, like, where's the racism? Where's your evidence of the racism?
Yeah.
My life.
I think it's funny that the person in the video she describes, and I don't know, I haven't seen the video. I don't know the context. I clearly don't have all the court documents. So if we're going to play a game of truth, let's play a hard game of truth. What you have is a pregnant human being who has enough money to sue a random black person who doesn't have an attorney. That's what you have in your hands. So if you want to know why she's getting called a Karen, there's your fucking answer. It looks a lot like a fucking Karen. Could be wrong.
Do be walking like a duck.
It do be walking
And
like a
also
duck.
do be quacking like a duck.
The dog whistles, man. Ugh. Fucking gross.
And for some reason, that duck has a dog whistle.
Does she understand that dog whistles make you not on the left?
Yeah.
I mean, really, you're just
You the
where do you even go with this one? The whole video is garbage. It was just a greatest hits of straight up garbage.
I think we've done all we're going to need to do to rip this apart because it is trash. And by that I mean I have fucking screamed about the problems in that video. For what? I filled a half hour. We did pretty good. We did pretty fucking good. You want to talk about purging the far left? Go fuck yourself. How about that? How about that instead? You know what? Because if your political program is to alienate the far left, is to ally with turfs, is to produce profit, is to soften the edges of capitalism, and is to create a cultural space where we're supposed to have open debates about humanity. Even though you say, oh, you can't question humanity. You absolutely can. You should be questioning what a fucking human is. That's a big fucking question you should be working on in your head. Because if you don't have an answer to it, you're gonna have a fucking hell of a time creating policy. And I'll tell you what, the Republicans do, and that person looks like me with way shittier politics, and blonde hair and blue eyes. that's what a human is to them.
A toxic witch hunt.
Yeah. If that's your political program.
Well, hold on. Like, human also encompasses anyone while they're still in the womb. Like, once you come out that crotch, like, it's kind of, it's a little shady. But, like, while you're still in utero, you definitely have a bunch of fucking rights that you might not have later.
They have, in this regard, the right has never faltered in their definition of a human being, and they are disturbingly clear. From the moment of conception, a human being is somebody who is white, has property rights, has a high social caste, and is of the bourgeois. That's the definition of a human. That's what they present. That is something the progressives, in this case at TYT, refuse to fucking admit. They have a very clear definition of what a human being is, and it is wholly abhorrent to the left. It should be wholly abhorrent to the left. If that is not a wholly abhorrent definition to you, I got fucking spoilers for you. The leftists aren't the problem in the fucking room. Even if there's only one, it ain't the leftist who's the problem in the goddamn room. It is a sick fucking room to be in. But since 1770 fucking 6, since what, 1619, since Europe crapped out the idea, they have been very brutally clear about what a fucking human being is. That is why no matter how shitty they are, they have a cohesive political project because they answer the big questions. Nitpicking over the fucking what constitutes a fetus and at what stage it becomes human, nitpicking that is playing their game and admitting they're right.
Yeah.
You have
Well, it's 18 months.
Yeah. Well, it forms eyes. You're playing their game. They want to play that game because they want to demonstrate when it is humanity. So when that's what your fucking big takedown is, guess what? They take fucking abortion away. They feel entitled to write the word slave and enslaved in the fucking Constitution. When they go, oh, well, that shit, that shit is just, they just didn't stand up to their own beliefs. They fucking put it in the fucking founding document, my friend. They put it in the legal contract with society. They meant what they said, or they wouldn't have said it. They were very thorough. It presumes that they were fucking stupid, fucking drunk-ass college students. These were people who knew exactly what they fucking meant. They knew what they were saying. They knew that there was a different, socially speaking, level of humanity. And that they were the ones who had it and other people didn't. They were very clear. It's in all the fucking original rules. That's why we have to fight against the goddamn country. Because the goddamn country is founded, it's literally founded upon it. That conception of humanity. They're unapologetic. They believe it. And this other shit too, right? Let's get to this part. Okay, so in the fucking TYT-averse, the only people who are ever called Karens are these good liberals who don't want to be called pregnant persons and all this shit. And all women are at least liberal. They all have to be, obviously. There's no such thing as a conservative woman. If I said to you there's no such thing as a black person, you'd laugh at me. You'd laugh at me before you fucking rage yelled at me. If I told you there's no such thing as a trans person, right? If I told you there's no such thing as a fucking Muslim or a Jew, you'd laugh in my face. It's a social definition we all understand and has a demographic share within the nation state. On that identity vector, it's a binary. Yes, no, you either have it or you don't. Some people have it, some people don't. And all the groups I've mentioned are low percentages of society. So why in the fuck do you pretend 40% of the fucking conservatives aren't fucking women? Why do you pretend that they don't agree? Why do you fucking play pretend on this? Oh, the poor put upon liberal. And I got news for you. I've hung around those women. I went to the Women's March. You pick out 10 of them, you've got one who's just focused on women's rights. You got 3 who are leftists and they're trying to be intersectional. And you got 6 who are a mix of conservative and liberal women, predominantly liberal, and they are assholes. They are Karens. They are wine moms and Karens, baby. So why are we fucking pretending that we're not describing conservative women? Why are we pretending we're not describing liberal women? And liberal is not that great of a term. If fucking TYT is to be believed, it's not that great of a term to have, just being a liberal. Unsympathetic to even the fucking progressives.
Pretty bad.
Pretty fucking bad. Massive fucking cringe. This is the only minority group we're supposed to pretend doesn't fucking exist. The conservative woman who is a gigantic monster and births monsters, marries monsters, fucks monsters, makes her wealth from monsters, and deploys monsters to commit violence upon the rest of us. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mackenzie fucking Bezos is real whether you want to believe it or not. Jeff and Mackenzie were real fucking people. They exist, and they are assholes to the umpteenth degree. Karen and Ken, the apex, the alpha, the omega. Pieces of shit. Fucking TYT. Goddamn sons of bitches.
Those damn bastards.
Yeah, they really suck. That's a pretty rough video. Ugh.
It is painful and cringe. I pointed out earlier that if you look at her mirroring, she's trying to say there's just, if I describe this to you, can you imagine a group that has a derogatory, hateful term thrown at them in order to depress their humanity and is exposed to constant violence just on the premise of their existence? Right? What did I just describe? What's the number one group that fits that bill in this fucking shithole country? That's the struggle that she's trying to co-opt for this purpose. You're trying to co-opt the same fucking energy. It's fucking disgusting. It is a separate struggle. It is a separate struggle because many of your alleged peers in this are collaborators. In the case of somebody like Mackenzie Bezos right now, she's a perpetrator. It would be unfair to call her a collaborator because it acts like she doesn't have the wealth to fucking initiate the bullshit. It's fucking insulting, frankly. Why are you taking it away from her? She earned that title. She wanted that title. She got that title. Are we not supposed to acknowledge the accomplishments of women? Now she gets to be the oppressor. The apex oppressor in this case. Who's going to fuck with her? Who's going to fuck with Melinda Gates? That woman doesn't like the way you're dressed and she can call the cops saying anything and you're going to get shot in the face. And she associates with people who associate with fucking pedophiles. She's one of the apex oppressors. She's one of the highest points. She's reached gender parity. She's accomplished it. The glass ceiling is shattered. Hit the peak of the fucking mountain. This is the kind of shit that bothers me. We can't have. This is the same. This is my last point. And I promise I will give the floor up at some fucking point, and it will end with this. These are the same motherfuckers who bitch and moan constantly. We don't have a left organization. With your kind of leftism, we don't need one. They're called the Democrats. They're fucking useless. We can just go have some of that. We have useless, fucking tepid people who agree with the conservatives, who start at the same exact synthesis point and mirror their fucking peers. We have all of that. We have the parallax view of them. We have the Democratic Party. We don't need an org. We can just go be Democrats, dumbass. You have to have a radical difference in stance. You need your far left to become cohesive and present a new option. And unfortunately, you wouldn't like it. You fucking said it. You wouldn't even like it. So shut the fuck up. Go whine to Nancy Pelosi and AOC about a fucking new position. Go whine somewhere that'll fucking hear it. Who are sympathetic to it. God damn it. All right, I'm done.
Shut the fuck up, Lib is the correct response, yes.
You're killing me.
I concur. Particularly when she said fails to ensure people of color have equal opportunities to wealthier white people. That's her idea of equality.
Yeah, you can't say Karen either. That's equality. It's always we can't have, isn't it? It's always we can't have.
Where do those white people get that wealth?
Yeah.
Where do they get that wealth, Anna? Where do they get it?
But where does it come from, Anna?
It's almost like when the other group was robbed.
For centuries.
But the market's all good. God bless the market. Fucking libs. So annoying. Like Why does she want to side with the bigots so much? Why?
I mean, if you listen to Cenk Uygur, he lays it
It's
out. He
all,
lays
it's
it
all,
bare. He's just
it's
worried
all
about winning
God.
votes.
I mean, it's got to be dollar signs,
It's votes.
right?
He's just worried about the right not winning votes in the next election. Who are they going to vote for, asshole? Who are they going to vote for? You running for fucking president? You getting your ass up and running? They're just going to vote for Biden. We already
He
saw
can't.
what that does.
He can't take another one of those hits today.
So what's the point? What's the point? This is one of those things where the Democrats are actually right, and there's a reason. There is a reason they're frustrated, because the progressives, I'm going to use that in quotes right now, the progressive Democrats, you're wasting all this fucking time and energy throwing punches at the right. You're advocating for the radical position of vote for Democrats, then you're whining about the Democrats. Why are you bothering? And why are people paying for this? Why are you paying to whine about the Democrat? Why are you paying them to whine about the Democrats? You can just whine about the Democrats at home. They make it easy. We do it for free. We'll do it for you for free. You don't need them. I'll save you a couple $100 a year. If you want a non-radical, non-far left, non-alternative to the Republicans, well, good news, motherfucker. We have the Democratic Party, which you're going to go out there and fucking, we're supposed to get votes for what? Votes for Democrats. So you whine about the fucking problem, but then the solution to the problem is the fucking problem.
They are bad.
And then you're panicked that people don't want to vote. What? I don't know what to tell you. This becomes a cost benefit analysis. Why would we pay for that and pay for them and shill for them while we're whining about them and then be unhappy when they get elected anyway? That's a question you have to sort out, because I propose that sounds fucking stupid. Beating the Republicans and electing somebody who does what the Republicans do with a more sobering attitude is pointless. We need to beat them. Oh, and
It's
then
really hard to get me excited to vote for somebody that then turns around and is like, oh, well, sorry, not sorry, fuck you. Nevertheless,
yeah.
and carries on doing what they were doing.
You know how you feel you're wrong, now vote for this person. Even though I don't like them, you should vote for them. What in the fuck? What are you, schizophrenic? Like, do you expect to fucking this? Schizophrenia is the number one problem in society. I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I fucking mean it. It's a social disease. God damn it. You're exactly right.
Liberal brainworms.
Liberal goddamn brainworms. Yet again, drive me up a fucking wall. Liberal logic. Okay, this is where I get now. I'm going to calm down because I'm going to talk about the theory. We're all familiar with the dialectic, right? We're all familiar with the dialectic. Thesis, antithesis arrives at a synthesis.
Yeah, negation, all that jazz. Yeah.
All that jazz, right? I'm going to make it very short. A is not B. The merger is AB. You get a synthesis. Zizek talks about the parallax view of things. When you look at two separate things that are supposed to be opposition, you can find the through line between the two. And he uses this terminology, parallax view. And what I found about that particular work from Zizek is you could have saved yourself a whole lot of fucking time, because every synthesis, every AB produces its new C and its new D, and they synthesize again. And the reason that C and D have similarities, what Zizek calls the parallax view, is because they came from the same fucking synthesis. They came from that same point. That process repeats itself. The way that dialectics is taught that A is opposed to B, and then AB reconcile somehow. But every thought does not have its anti-thought and then arrive at a conclusion. The masters of dialectics will require, so we know it could be A, B, C, D, and E, and they'll arrive at a synthesis. But my point is, once you've arrived at that synthesis, what Zizek calls the parallax view is just the new birth of a new dialectic that comes out of that synthesis. And the reason they will have this, what he calls the parallax view, the other side, just like, Republicans have taken the notion of overt bigotry and Democrats have taken implicit bigotry, is because they started bigotry. This isn't hard. People all the time say, Dan, oh, you're so smart. I'm not smart. I just paid fucking 2 seconds of attention and I understand, right? I have the luxury of being able to pay that attention. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not smart. I just fucking read a book once. I read a book one time. And what I'm trying to tell you is so you know. That way I saved you all that work. That's it.
Well, you had some lived experience. You did sit there and watch them create the '94 crime bill and then push Joe on us.
Exactly.
That
And
that sums up the whole thing.
exactly. And hell, in Biden's defense, he was an overt racist. They don't learn through osmosis. Well, fucking you don't either, Joe. Although it's debatable, it looks like you lose knowledge through osmosis. That brain is in a state of decay.
Did they get Strom Thurmond?
He went to one, who the fuck's funeral did he go to? And he was so proud of himself. Joe Biden attends racist's funeral.
The KKK guy?
Oh, AP. Biden did not eulogize former KKK Grand Wizard. Claim, ready? This is from the AP. Claim, when former KKK Grand Wizard Joe Byrd died in 2010, he was eulogized by Joe Biden. Assessment, partially false. Biden did eulogize Senator Robert Byrd when he died. You know why it's partially false?
Why?
Byrd was just a member. He wasn't a Grand Wizard.
Oh.
Seems
really
like we're
putting
nitpicking.
that bar high.
Oh, well, he wasn't in
Not much of a
charge.
nitpick there. Not much. I'm not nitpicking that. We'll just let that sink in.
Yeah, was that worth nitpicking? Was it?
That
Partially.
was.
You're literally mad at his job description in the organization. Jesus fucking Christ.
You did what?
Actually, he was called the Stormfuhrer. Okay. I don't think that's the problem with Hitler. Like, you people for fucking real.
They be like that.
They do be
That's
like
how
that.
they be. It's fucking crazy. Well, good rant. You had good rant. I'm gonna have to listen to the rest of it.
Yeah.
I think you know where it goes.
Telling us to
Do
calm
you
down.
feel better?
Telling us to calm down about the racism while casually,
Defending the racists.
Doing the
defending
racism?
the racists. Yeah.
If you'd
Well,
ignore
maybe-
the Holocaust, you wouldn't
maybe
know what
we
was
should-
happening.
Maybe we should give them some time. No, we saw what we needed to see.
I also get blamed a lot for arguing the ridiculous, but when you hear the phrase ignore the Holocaust and you won't have much of a problem with it, well, no shit. The problem still exists, but you're right. If I ignore, there's a problem. I don't have to acknowledge the house is on fire. I just have to worry about this new cough I have and why I feel dizzy. Motherfuckers. I hate them sometimes.
Mhm.
I try
So bad.
so very hard. There's no point. There's no point. I am trying way too hard. Oh, and I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Excuse me. Adolf Hitler wasn't der Führer. He was der Führer und Reichskanzler. Excuse me. I fucking corrected. Well, good job, AP.
Did they really do that?
That's what they did. That's what they did with the Robert Byrd thing. Excuse me. Excuse me. His title in the organization was not Grand Wizard. He was a rank and file member.
And did you see Jacobin still fucking up on Stalin over there?
No, but I guarantee they are.
You doubled down.
Of course, they're gonna triple down.
Double the stupid, double the fun.
The left always runs from their best members because they're too afraid of winning. Because victory would require you having to do something like lead and defend your victory. And a lot of leftists seem to think we live post-revolution. Not in their fucking actual rhetoric, but in their fucking the way they want society to handle the problem. They don't see it as an active thing that has to be worked on and built. They have been taught that it is passive. By liberals.
No. That's pretty awful.
Yeah, and it's sickening is what it is. There's my bitch about my fellow leftists. But you know what the difference is? I don't want to see my fellow leftists purged from political life. What I want to see them is to fucking get stronger. That
Yeah,
is that is
better
the
positions.
Santa Trier difference. We want you to be your best self, and Anna Kasparian wants you to shut the fuck up and get out of her way so she can feel better. And all I'm saying is this.
She wants you to pull up your pants and be like the white kids.
You better hide them curls, Shmuley. What'll they think of you?
If you just conform, then you have no problems. See?
Donnell, you're a very nice boy, but have you considered maybe bleaching a little bit and lightening that skin up? You'll be less intimidating.
Well, this ginger hair. Nah, here's some black dye.
Nisha, you're a very nice young lady, but could you maybe straighten that hair out? That would make you less frightening to white people.
You should
no,
do
this is
well
best
in the
friend.
future because you're so well spoken.
But you can't say Karen.
It's depressing. It is depressing and frustrating. I'm gonna spoil you right now. If you need news, go to the Majority Report. You get your news a day late, but you get the higher class of commentary than this bullshit. I don't know why I haven't made the jump fully. I hate myself. That's why.
I haven't used TM2 in forever.
You don't. You know what though? It's obvious I hate myself. I'm a cat person. See that? Full fucking circle. Bam.
Just like that, baby.
Bam.
But
Dun-dun-ch. All right, I think we killed this hour pretty good. I think I have expressed my displeasure and the collective displeasure of the cast with what's going on, even though I'm a bit more radical than some of their opinions. And then, you know what? No, one final fucking point. They always brag, we have a diversity of opinion. Your diversity of opinions win votes for Democrats. How fucking, how diverse is that opinion? You know, there's four of us are on the fence about that shit all the time. We negotiate and oscillate on those positions, and we disagree. Oh, look, these four far left motherfucking crazies.
They always say, why don't you just do what the enemy tells you to do?
Yeah, have you tried doing what the enemy wants and surrendering? See how that goes? Did you ever actually try that?
if you just knuckle under, we'd be nicer.
If you just knuckle under, just give them a little bit.
Why are you fighting? It's not that big a deal. Just give up.
Only the right uses violence is the most ridiculous thing they say on there. That is that is capitalist cowardice.
Right. Who said that?
Chat, nice one before we go. Sums it up beautifully. Remember that lady made a sign over a decade ago that said women are the N-words of the world? That's the epitome of the liberal mentality. I would say put upon women are the put upon women of the world. The struggles are different, but they're no less valid. But we got to hear some rich bitch telling us what to do. Fucking Karens.
Fucking Karen.
You've all done a good job. Thank you, chat, for indulging my raw rage. Thank you, Sons of Trier, for indulging my raw rage. And we'll see you next week, hopefully with something more fun. Because I'm going to purposely go out of my way to avoid this shit going forward. We love you. Don't die. We like
Love you, America. Be safe.